Bro.
You good?
Yeah.
We're back out in the woods and we found a pretty secluded cellar hole right behind Jim. That mound, I don't know if you guys can tell there, it's all just kind of covered with ferns. Unfortunately, Jim, we didn't bring our weed whacker.
No, I guess we're gonna have to improvise a little.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some bushwhacking, push things aside, maybe move some branches, maybe even trample down some ferns to get some good ground to search. But this land has a promise of some good relics. We are well off the beaten path, and I mean, just by the looks of this area and judging by the stone walls and everything, I don't believe anybody's been here before. So what do you say, buddy?
Another day, another adventure.
That's right, another day, another adventure out here in the woods of New Hampshire. So you guys stay tuned. We're gonna get to digging and we'll show you all the relics we find. So this appears to be the old road that leads right by the cellar hole that's right down this way. And I think that's some pasture land up there. It does flatten out. Perhaps there was a barn site at one point. But right down along here, working my way towards this cellar hole, my first target of the day. And I hope this isn't a jinx for the rest of the day. Looks like I would believe that to be part of a two-piece button. But that's not a bad first target for the day. I'll put it away and I'm going to keep on working this way. See what the ground can produce. It's not taking you long to get on the relics today, huh, Jim?
No, I'm very pleased. This was ringing up as a major high tone. It's a 4-piece button.
Ooh.
It must be, I'm not sure if that's...
Underwear or...
Right.
Weren't underwear mostly porcelain though, or no? Weren't those the porcelain four-hole buttons?
No, that feels like,
I know this isn't porcelain.
what do you call it? The, silver, you know, they make silverware out of, the real old stuff.
Yeah. You found anything else yet?
Just a old bottle cap, but this is my second target, and I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't go 2 feet.
Yeah. We just started scratching the surface and we're already on relics, so I'm sure the closer we get to that cellar hole, there's good potential here.
Definitely. Awesome.
It's quite common to dig a bunch of buckles, horse tack buckles, things like that, as you guys have seen in my previous episodes. Down there, just popped this behemoth. Look at the size of that buckle. Now, I'm assuming that that went on some oxen harness or something. Some big animal had to have worn that. And the only thing that I can think about around this area would be oxen. That's a giant one. I don't think I've ever found a buckle that size before. The pin is still intact. The frame is all there. And man, that was probably a good 10 inches underground. It's a rusty relic, but I'm happy with it. I'll put it away, carry on. See you guys at the next target. We started way out that way. The trail ended, but the stone walls on either side continued to outline the old road. They came all the way down here where they started splitting up, and bunch of openings. Like I said, we think there might have been a barn site up there. We're going to go check that out at some point. And we just followed it all the way down into the woods to see where it led to. The cellar hole's not too impressive, but it's impressive. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a shot of what we're facing today. The undergrowth is pretty rough, but take a look. And right in here, we have our cellar hole. As you can tell, somebody has been up here, and by the looks of it, I don't think they had a place to go. There's some old soup cans, things like that. I don't know that it's been any time recent since they've been here, but there is a little burn pit down in that area by the tree there, and I mean, they had it set up. Someone was taken up shop here for a while, but there's still a nice cellar hole here and plenty of history around. But as you guys can see, we're dealing with this stuff all over the place, which makes it very difficult to swing your metal detectors and do a good thorough job of the land. When I get up to these spots, especially way out in the middle of nowhere, I'm really confident that no one else has been here with a metal detector, but you never really know. So I go around, I look at all the rocks and everything, the stone walls, the cellar hole structure itself. Oftentimes other metal detectors that have been through here will leave big scraps of metal, iron, just junk metal. They'll pile it up, they'll leave it on a rock somewhere around the way. But in this case, I don't see anything. Because of that, I have a really good feeling about this place. I know Jim has a good feeling about this place. He can't stop smiling. And just like you guys have seen, we've already pulled out a few relics. So it's not a bad way to start. Hopefully it's not a curse. And we're going to spend the rest of the day here to see what else we can find. I don't know if you can see him, but Jim's right up there through the trees, making his way that way. I've come down to the side of the old house site here. You can see the side structure wall right here. There's actually a little channel that goes down this way. It's like an old stream or some kind of stream bed of some sort. I decided to come over into this section because it gets pretty flat, it's pretty open, and there's not a lot of growth to have to push through and really work the metal detector. And I was just talking to Jim about finding a colonial shoe buckle, and right out of this hole I popped this. My first thought was exactly that, a colonial shoe buckle, and I hit it. But I stuck my pinpointer back in, expecting to find more pieces, which I did. But I don't think that that's what it was. I think it was just an eating utensil, a pewter spoon or something. That part would go there, and maybe the spoon bowl or something would attach there. I did search more in there, and there's nothing else in there. Little bit of a heart stopper there. I thought I totally destroyed a colonial shoe buckle, but I think it was just an eating utensil made of pewter. And there's tones down here, and I'm getting into some. And this right here was no exception. Man, I love things that say president on it. I believe, and I could be wrong, these were made in Massachusetts sometime, I think very, very late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. I'll have to check that, but it's a nice old brass suspender. I'll call it a clasp. I'm sure there's a proper name for it, but that's what I'm calling it. Neat relic, and that's going to clean up beautifully. It'll look nice in the display case with the others. And right now, that's the best relic I'm on today. I'm sure there's plenty more out here. We just got to find it. I've decided to work down along the edge of the cellar hole here. And I got, I don't know what. Maybe you can tell me. Check this out. I feel like I've seen these before. And I believe that's leather right there that attached to, but no idea. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments below, and maybe you can let me know. So I just pulled that out of the ground, and at first, I mean, I should have known, but I wasn't sure. And I reached back in with the pinpointer to the hole, and I pulled out the rest of it. It's an old pocket knife. Clearly this thing has seen better days, but maybe I can get something off of it to give me an age. I don't know. old and rusty and falling apart. But it'll go in the pouch and I'll keep on moving on. So there's viewers out there that ask, are we afraid of bear? Are we afraid of coyotes? Whatever else out there? I'm not afraid of those. What I'm afraid of are about this big, and they have yellow stripes on them. And I tell you what, I just got into a nest right down on the base, almost the base of that tree down there. There's some rocks, and I didn't get bit, but I'll tell you what, that sure gave me a scare. I'm just gonna take a relaxing break here for a minute, collect my thoughts, and get back to it. I might actually head on up that way and check in with Jim as well, but I am getting into some relics down here. It's unfortunate that those guys are holding that area captive, but I'm not messing with them, and neither should you. Midday report. How you doing?
Not too bad, a little slow.
Yeah. I see you working that upper edge up there. Was there anything worth heading up that way for?
Now, brand new bullets and miscellaneous metal.
Yeah. Did I tell you what I got into down this way? You want to know?
Yeah, what do you got?
I found some yellow jackets.
All right.
So don't be making your way down that corner, Jim, because I don't run, and I know you probably don't want to run, especially uphill.
No, I don't want to. I will if I have to.
So I think we should go work on the other side of the cellar hole, try to get through those ferns and to the back side. I think it opens up a little bit there, and we might have some luck over that way.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
You drinking your water?
Oh yeah, almost empty.
It's cool out, but it's weird. It's like, it's really humid. Really humid.
Yeah, it's sweaty.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go get it and see what else we can find. There's a lot of people that ask me why I enjoy this hobby. One of the main reasons why I really enjoy getting out, looking for old home sites, finding that old land, and just kind of soaking it all in while I'm out here is because if you look behind me and all around me, this is what the early American settlers were up against when they moved into this part of the world. Now you can imagine coming here with next to nothing. I mean, literally, probably just whatever they could carry on their backs. And you were up against some very, very upset and angry Native Americans that once called this land home. Bear, wolves at one point that once roamed New England, and just all the other wildlife and everything else that was around here that they weren't accustomed to. So when I come out into the woods with my metal detector, yeah, I'm looking for history, relics, things like that that were left behind from the early settlers that once called these places home. But it's also really cool to think that before any of the towns that we know them how they are today, cities, roads, I mean, all the fields, everything that you guys see out and about in your town, in your neighborhood, it didn't always look that way. It all started like this. Nothing but sheer wilderness all around you. And I tell you what, coming out into this is probably the closest to time travel that I will ever experience. And that's why I appreciate this hobby. And that's why I like coming out into the wilderness, searching for history and thinking about what it used to be like for the early American settlers that once called these places home. Well, we're not really finding any shiny relics or coins or anything spectacular right now, but we are on the relics. I believe that to be part of an old stove. I don't think it was a vent or anything like that. Well, maybe that was could have been a foot pedal, but I don't know. I mean, if those two pieces there weren't there, I would say perhaps that was a pedal to maybe a tractor or something, but still could be. I don't know. So it's always neat to find this kind of stuff just kicking around, and gives us a little insight, kind of takes us back to what this place used to be like. And I'll never frown for digging anything like this. Man, we're really working for the relics today. Nothing incredible, but it's old. It's an old iron spoon bowl. What'd you just pull up, Jimmy?
Some kind of horse. It's a hook. A horse. Like a shaped like a bell, but it's some kind of strap.
Man, there is a lot of iron over here. We are digging up iron relics and junk everywhere.
Look like,
give that back to you.
Yep.
And I just dug that. What do you think that is? I was thinking maybe a shoehorn. I'm not sure. It's pretty light.
Boy, it's sure shaped like one.
But it's really thin. What else could that be?
I think it's to help you get your shoes off.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, you don't want to kill your foot.
I mean, that's what I thought.
Where did I get some kind of I got some other iron hook. Not a hook, but a horse tack.
Yeah.
But
well, you still having fun?
Always.
I'm always having fun with you. And hey, you never know what the next target will bring.
That's right. Could be a button, could be a coin, could be trash.
Could be the elusive barber quarter.
Barber quarter.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you get back at it, and let's see what else we can do before the day's end. Well, with today's technology, people having a lot of time on their hands, and everything in between, a lot of places up here in New England don't stay secret very long. And here's a pretty good example of what I'm talking about. Well, like I said earlier in the episode, anytime me and Jim go out, we always look for this kind of stuff. And right there is a perfect example as to how we know other detectorists have been around. Now, why they leave this stuff is beyond me. I mean, I'm going to take it home. I might try to, especially that. I think that was like a therapeutic type horseshoe. I don't know. I've heard different rumors. It was a snowshoe. I don't know. For horses, but got that. You got the old broken axe head, which you can't really do much for that, but I'm going to be taking that home with me. And we've been searching through here the entire day. We just came up on this old barn site right here. You know, you got the wall that's kind of cut in here and it goes down this way and then it levels off into here. Jim is over on the other side of the jungle right here and he's swinging away, but I hate to say it, but I don't think any ground is ever really cleared out. But when you come across this stuff, it's very difficult to find any kind of old relics, coins, jewelry, anything. Because chances are whoever came here probably came back multiple times. And it's really unfortunate that they just leave this stuff to rot. So I'm going to pack this out. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't, but I'm going to. I just don't feel right leaving it here. And probably call it a day here shortly with Jim. Well, Jimbo, I'm about ready. I just got to call it quits. We've been out here for what, 4 or 5 hours now, and
yeah, it's definitely lots of mid-tones and a couple high tones that didn't work out.
Nope. A lot of iron. We did get some relics. I know you got some stuff today, huh?
Yeah. I got this. You said it was part of a well.
Yeah, that looks like the link that would go to the chain on the well.
I don't know what that is, but that was a good mid-tone.
Interesting. What else you got
this
there?
Was a coin tone, but it's got square nails holding it on. I don't know what that was. And your regular horse tack.
Some iron parts. Is that a piece of a clock?
Yeah. This rasp.
Nice.
Pieces of clock. Well, the insides of a clock.
I wonder if you can get a patent date or something off of that. Maybe there's something in there.
And the folded up harmonica reeds, there's, I don't know, 2 or 3. Looks like somebody folded them up and just threw them.
Well, you didn't do that bad.
It's interesting.
Well, I have something for you that you know exactly what it's going to do for the episode when I put it in your hand. Why don't you hold it out? You ready for it?
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's official, buddy.
There we go.
I didn't think I was going to find one of them, but hey, we did it. So that's going to do it for me and Jim again on this adventure. We didn't find a whole lot, but we still had a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay healthy, stay good to one another, and as always,
Happy hunting.